Hi, I'm Shine, and this is Divine Shine Tarot with your monthly love and career reading for my Aquarius, Sun or Rising in March 2025. I'll leave the timestamps down below. I hope this reading finds you at a helpful time. Remember, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. If anything resonates, please let me know in the comments. Also, leave me questions or suggestions for readings you'd like to see from me in the future. I'm raising funds to purchase medical equipment, so I appreciate any donations or shiny items you care to gift from my Amazon and Etsy list linked below, if you're inspired, but not required. Now, I ask that the Spirit step forward to divinely guide my vision and messaging for these love and career readings. Let's get started. Spirit, what's happening in Aquarius' love life this month? What are they experiencing? What should they prepare for in their love life for the rest of March? Let's get some cards out for my Aquarius' love life for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So we have here the Page of Pentacles. So you may be planning to take action on a new emotional opportunity. And especially since it is followed by this Page of Wands, Aquarius, this new opportunity or relationship that you're exploring may have you feeling very inspired and enthusiastic. This is a card of having passion for something and being excited. But the Page of Pentacles indicates that you're not letting your excitement provoke impulsiveness. You're being thoughtful in your evaluation of this opportunity. So it's a good balance of excitement and self-control. The Queen of Swords. So very good judgment of character. Someone with clear boundaries and a good, clear communicator. So you may be seeing things clearly, which should allow you to better make a decision on if you want to entertain a new relationship. But then you have this Nine of Swords card, which indicates anxieties, fears, insomnia, nightmares, maybe even depression. Are you still dealing with some lingering feelings or traumas from a past relationship, Aquarius? Or are you worried that perhaps the person that you are exploring a relationship with is not telling you the truth about something? Because this Queen of Swords could also indicate someone who is seeking the truth, trying to get to the truth, and likely will get to the truth. Maybe the truth is not necessarily what you want to hear. Maybe this person is not as interested in you as you are in them. Let's get some clarification on this reading for you, Aquarius. Spirit, please clarify this love life reading for my Aquarius. Please help clarify this love life reading for the rest of March for my Aquarius, Spirit. Let's get some clarification cards for Aquarius in these next 4 to 6 weeks. And boy, did we get a lot. So, Eight of Swords, indicating you feeling stuck or trapped. This says disempowerment, fears, doubts, negative thoughts, self-imposed restrictions, victim mentality, entrapment, isolation. So when this card comes up, this could indicate that you may have kept yourself in an unhealthy relationship for longer than you'd like to admit. And the shame and humiliation associated with staying in something like that may lead to the isolation because it's not something that you want to disclose with others. So you may be suffering in silence. And then you got this Knight of Swords card in reverse. Now, off the bat, I can tell you in a love reading, this card could indicate some fling, some lover that comes in hot and heavy, but they're very impulsive and unserious. So that could leave you feeling either gaslit or heartbroken. Here the card says disorganized, scattered, careless, unfocused, impulsive, unpredictable, maybe even violence. And not to harp on the worst of things, but this card mentioning violence after a card like the Eight of Swords could also indicate that there is or was something abusive in a past relationship, perhaps not necessarily the new one that you're considering. So this may be clarifying what I inquired on this Nine of Swords card, if perhaps you are still dealing with some traumas from a past relationship. That's what it looks like so far, that you were dealing with an unhealthy, imbalanced relationship, as well as a person that may have been careless and unpredictable. Then you have this Two of Wands in reverse. It says procrastinate, plans fall apart, poor planning, unrealistic, playing it safe. So maybe someone's been holding back or was holding back in that relationship, which is why you're really thinking things through for the next relationship. This experience may have created a lot of hesitation for new love in you, understandably so. You have this King of Wands card in reverse, and this is someone who is impulsive, ruthless, has unachievable expectations, stubborn, opinionated. So we are again seeing this idea of someone who is impulsive. And as I mentioned before, that may allow for several extremes in a relationship where someone impulsive may be stringing you along or gaslighting you into thinking things in the relationship are something that they're not. So again, these cards may be pointing to a toxic relationship that you've already gotten out of or need to get out of if this reading resonates with you and sounds similar to a relationship you're currently in. And here is the Ace of Wands, which is complementary to the Page of Wands that you got here. The Ace of Wands says inspiration, beginnings, creation, desire, enthusiasm, energy, new opportunities, and growth. So this is a positive card to get after cards indicating some challenging characteristics in a relationship, because it gives you hope that you'll soon be able to move on to something better. And that something will make you so much happier since you have this Sun card, which represents positivity, pleasure, happiness, success, fun, love, vitality, joy, celebration, inspiration. All is well. This is a beautiful card to have in any reading because it indicates that no matter how tough things may seem now, they can and will get better. You will move on from this troubled relationship. The Six of Swords indicates moving on from the troubled waters to calmer waters, but these swords can represent some traumas that you may still be carrying. If not from the relationship, maybe even traumas from childhood. This card says transition, exit, change, move beyond, leaving behind, releasing baggage. So reinforcing the idea of needing to move on from this relationship if you haven't already. And then you got the World card, which means maybe an unfinished life lesson. So this card may be reminding you that there was a reason that you are going or have gone through this in your love life, in your relationship. There's something that you were supposed to learn, a life lesson that you were supposed to learn and grow from. This says lack of achievement, incompletion, failure, unfulfilled. So this could indicate you still tying up any loose ends with getting some closure from that past relationship to be able to close that chapter for good and be able to step into the next relationship opportunity that you would be more passionate about and more prepared after your experience in this relationship that taught you something about yourself or about love, about relationships, about boundaries. Your experience from this relationship is supposed to help you transform into a better version of yourself in order to receive what the universe has next for you. And it means that you will end up in a position of complete divine love and happiness. This 10 of Cups points to harmony, bliss, family, alignment, happiness, fulfillment, belonging, and support. So getting this 10 of Cups card after the World card in reverse is confirming that once you conclude this stage, you'll be able to step into sunnier times and more fulfilling relationships. If you didn't get the message before, you should get it now with this 8 of Cups, reminding you again to move on. Just as we saw here in the 6 of Swords, you have to leave the baggage behind and move on. Here in the 8 of Cups, you see someone once had several cups full, but this emotional connection no longer fulfills them. So they're looking to leave behind whatever it was and seek something new and better. Not necessarily another relationship. It could even be some growth and enlightenment about themselves. This says escapism, abandonment, walking away, freedom, action, and change. So you may be craving your freedom at this time if you indeed came out of a relationship with someone with these somewhat troubling and toxic characteristics that we saw here earlier in those court cards. Someone who is fair and approachable and assertive. You may have the desire to forgive and peace after stress. So when this 5 of Swords card in reverse pops up in a love life reading, it gives me the impression that maybe part of your consideration is to revisit an old relationship, because you may have the desire to forgive now that you're in a more peaceful state, but you may have also forgotten a lot of the difficulty or worst case, maybe even abuse that you experienced while being in that relationship. So while people say time heals all wounds, it could also cause you to forget, which then leads you to think that you should forgive a person, but forgiveness does not require people to regain access to you and your life again. Sometimes relationships have run their course and you need to move on from it for your own good and growth. You don't want to stay stuck in a relationship longer than you should have. And this Queen of Pentacles indicates someone who is very generous, protective, motherly, nurturing, provides financially, practical. So this may point to the generosity of your love, how generous you are in a relationship, Aquarius, or this could mean that the next person coming into your life may be very generous and nurturing and reciprocal, which should be very healing on the other side of this kind of relationship experience. So let's do an overview of your love life reading, Aquarius. At this time, you may be contemplating between giving an old relationship another chance or embarking on a new chapter in your life, be it exploring a new romance or enjoying your solitude. The universe may be asking you to strengthen your boundaries at this time and be truthful not only with yourself, but in seeking the truth of the character of others, because it seems that you have suffered or are still affected by the aftermath of a previous relationship that seems to have been a bit toxic, where you maybe stayed in that relationship longer than you should have with a person that's very impulsive, stubborn, unpredictable, unrealistic, maybe even violent. And this 2 of Wands in reverse may point to your attempts at planning to get out of the relationship in the past not being successful. Maybe you kept being pulled back into the relationship. Maybe there is an unhealthy pattern pattern that you grew accustomed to in this relationship, which contributes to the anxiety and worry and fears that you may have developed as a result of navigating the extremes of a relationship with this kind of person. But the universe may be presenting you with an opportunity where you will find someone or something that you are passionate and enthusiastic about and want to embark upon really dedicating yourself to exploring that life change or chapter. These cards indicate that once you move on from that troubled relationship, you should be much happier on the other side, experiencing love, fun, happiness, and positivity. But you may still be trying to wrap up this relationship and find closure as it relates to whatever final decisions you're making about if you should give this relationship one last chance or end things for good. Arriving at this decision will lead to you learning a life lesson that will further develop your character and prepare you to enjoy the next chapter, where you will find a lot of emotional fulfillment and happiness, be it with family, friends, love for yourself, getting on the other side of this relationship and closing that cycle, ending it for good instead of continuing that cycle, moving on from that relationship, getting on the other side and breaking the patterns of what seemed to be a toxic cycle will bring a lot of peace for you. But in that peace, do not allow yourself to forget what this person has shown you about themselves and what it feels like to be in a relationship with them. Remember to keep your firm boundaries to help protect yourself and prepare yourself for the next chapter or relationship in your life, which this final Queen of Pentacles card indicates should be a lot more stable with someone who is generous and nurturing. Or this could even be a relationship with yourself if you decide to remain single. But if you are looking for love and have some options before you, this person may be an earth sign, such as a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, or maybe even a Sagittarius. This person or a relationship with them may allow you to feel very grounded, which after coming out of a relationship that made you feel worried and anxious is going to be so much more peaceful, pleasurable, and enjoyable for you, Aquarius. So let's get some final cards out here for my Aquarius's love life. Spirit, what advice or final message do you have for my Aquarius's love life for the rest of March? Let's get some advice or a final message for Aquarius's love life for the next 4 to 6 weeks. For Aquarius's love life. Whoop! All right. So we have several cards flew out. I flipped that. So you got this Seraphim card, which says Guardians, Awakener, Purity. Interesting. We will get the full message of what that card may mean afterwards. This card says shadow work, forgiveness, and unconditional love. You may be in this part of the unfulfilled lesson in this experience, may be for you to help find forgiveness and unconditional love for yourself at this time, Aquarius. Sacred rest. This says retreat, balance, and restore. You may need to rest and recover after such an intense relationship, especially if you did start to experience insomnia or some sort of disruption in your sleep that also affected your health. And protection, shield, preserve, conserve, protect yourself with those stronger boundaries, with that clearer mind, with the lessons that you've learned from past relationships, and through the support and guidance of loved ones. Let's get the full message of these cards out for you, Aquarius. So first you got this Seraphim card, and the message on this card says, when this card comes up for you, it is a sign that you are being touched by the pure transcendent energy of angels. It is a sign that you are divinely protected, that you are honored, seen, and supremely cherished. The energy of the Seraphim is extremely pure, and to be aligned to this energy is a confirmation that you are a blessing to all that you encounter. Aquarius, so that card seems to remind you that you are divinely protected at this time and to trust in your guardian angels and your spirituality, depending on whatever you believe in, if you pray to a higher power, or at the very least, trust in the energies of the universe. Connect with that sense of spirituality and intuition to help guide you out of this tough and perhaps even toxic relationship. And then the shadow work card. The message here says, shadow work is a process of diving into the aspects of yourself that are disowned. Your shadows are parts of you that need to be loved. They need to be forgiven. Every part of you is divine. When this card comes up, it may be a shadow aspect that is asking for your attention and love. Are you feeling out of alignment, overly emotional, or are you self-sabotaging? It is time to do the healing work to integrate this unhealed aspect that is impacting you in your life. So as indicated in several of the cards in this reading, Aquarius, you may have trauma and the effects of being in a difficult relationship, dealing with the shadow self of another person, maybe even finding yourself in that situation because of your own shadow self's addictions or destructive patterns, that working through the ending of this relationship will assist you in addressing those areas of yourself that you want to improve upon and forgive in order to grow into a more positive version of yourself. The message of this sacred rest card says, when this card shows up in a reading, take it as a gentle nudge, a reminder that you need to take some restful time and space for yourself. Or maybe it's not a nudge, but a full-on push from the universe, letting you know that you need to make a change in the way you provide respite for yourself or suffer the consequences. We need rest from not only the obvious things like work, career, school, parenting, etc. We also need rest from the less obvious things like thinking, our expectations, the expectations of others, as well as stress and worry. This can be as simple as going to bed early, treating yourself to a massage. Meditation can do wonders for a stressed nervous system. And if you really want to do a deep dive, plan a retreat or some travel to take a break from your regular routine. Aquarius, so immediately that made me think of the Nine of Swords. Since earlier on in the reading, we identified that this could indicate the stress of dealing with this kind of person in the relationship may have affected you so much that you have had insomnia. You haven't even been able to rest in peace because of dealing with such a challenging relationship. So this card is asking you to take time for yourself to rest and recover, which should also help you think more clearly to make important decisions about your boundaries and no longer tolerating a relationship with someone which doesn't serve you. Finally, the message of this protection card says, it is perfectly natural to want to protect yourself and your loved ones from harm. Do this from a place of strength rather than from a place of fear. When this card comes up in a reading, it is an opportunity to examine your conscious and subconscious programming around worry, anxiety, and fear. When we have a harmonious relationship with the universe, we can develop a trust that all is unfolding for our growth. There is less stress, and this creates ease, leading to flow and connection with life. In a space of trust, we can know that we are safe. We can decide that we are safe. We can trust that we will know what to do in any situation. Alternatively, this card may specifically be asking you to create firm boundaries to protect yourself and your energy. Aquarius, that has been a repeating theme of this reading. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Protect your boundaries, protect yourself. Learn this life lesson of protecting yourself so that you will not tolerate a relationship like that any longer. And in turn, that will protect you from worry, anxiety, panic, which is a further reflection of an unhealthy relationship. So I hope this reading helps you find the strength and the clarity to make those tough but necessary decisions around relationships, Aquarius. And that is the monthly love reading for Aquarius, Sun or Rising for March 2025. Now, let's move on to your career reading. Spirit, what's happening in my Aquarius's career and finances this month? What are they experiencing? What should Aquarius prepare for in their career and finances for the rest of March? Let's get some cards out for Aquarius's career and finances for the next 4 to 6 weeks, Spirit. Okay. We have the Six of Wands. This card indicates some sort of victory, popularity, public recognition. You may be getting rewarded or recognized for some accomplishment in your job or business, Aquarius. Ooh, the Five of Pentacles indicates some sort of financial hardships. This could also indicate some health challenges, but in a career and finance reading, the first thought is that this may relate to some unexpected financial hardship or loss of a job or maybe even loss of a financial opportunity. Ultimately, this card indicates that you need to ask for help at this time to get yourself out of this situation, Aquarius. And this is a great follow-up card to have after that because this card indicates abundance, luxury, and self-care. This Nine of Pentacles lets you know that despite the financial hardships of the Five of Pentacles, things will get better. Seven of Pentacles indicates that you may be waiting to see the rewards of your labor. You may have invested your time and effort into some work project or creative project, and after planting those seeds, you're looking to see the fruits of your labor. This card asks you to be patient in seeing results. Let's get one more out for you. Five of Wands. So this indicates conflict, competition, arguments, disagreements. You may have dealt with all of this in a current or past work environment, Aquarius. And if it's more related to competition, this card encourages you to stay competitive. Don't allow yourself to be drowned out by others. Don't become passive. Stand your ground on whatever creative projects or business ideas you may be trying to make a reality. Stand your ground on whatever creative projects, business ideas, promotion, or new job you may be fighting or competing for. So let's get some clarification on this first part of the reading for you, Aquarius. Spirit, please clarify this career and finance reading for my Aquarius. Please help clarify this career and finance reading for Aquarius for the rest of March. So we have first this Ace of Pentacles in reverse, which indicates perhaps the loss of a financial opportunity. This says disorganization, lost opportunity, failure, bad investment, missed chance. So this is clarifying the Five of Pentacles for me, that this financial hardships may be due to some bad investment where you may have miscalculated, or a missed job opportunity, or a missed financial opportunity. And the Sun card in reverse indicates temporary struggles, failure, sadness, depression, negativity, low vitality. Again, giving more clarification for this Five of Pentacles moments, which feels like maybe job loss or disappointments around some opportunity that was pursued or investment that was made. The Two of Wands indicates planning, looking for progress, expecting results similar to the Seven of Pentacles, decisions, discovery, leaving home. You may be looking to leave your comfort zone at this time, Aquarius, and that could mean leave a job or industry that you have worked in for a while in order to move on to something better, something less competitive or less risky, to reduce the risk of disappointments. And this Four of Wands indicates that you may eventually have something to celebrate. On the other side of this, Aquarius, the plan that you make may lead to this victory that you had here in the Six of Wands and some sort of celebration or stability, which after having the instability of the Five of Pentacles come up is very comforting to see that you may have something to be joyful of or something to celebrate amongst family and friends. Job stability or stabilizing your finances may be the light at the end of the tunnel that you're waiting for and planning for. Let's get a few more cards out for you, Aquarius. Ooh, interesting. So first, this Devil card, which indicates vices, bad habits, temptations, attachments, addictions, restrictions, destructive behaviors, materialism, codependency, toxicity. So this may represent either toxicity in the current or past place that you were working in, or this could point to some bad habits and destructive behaviors you may need to work through to get on the other side of this turbulence in your career and financials. Could it be overspending? Could it be not necessarily being as careful as you should with your finances? Could it be something to do with discipline or researching your investment options before throwing your money at it? There may be some characteristics that the universe is asking you to work on at this time for you to fight through the obstacles that you're experiencing and find your way to a more victorious and stable stage in your career and with your finances. The Empress card indicates that conditions may be favorable, so it is a good time to make a change or take a risk. This Empress card says abundance, nurturing, femininity, beauty, growth, fertility, evolution, action, nature. You are called upon to evolve and transform at this time. This experience in your career, while it may be challenging, will help you grow into the better version of yourself that may be needed for the next chapter of your career. And reinforcing the first card that we got in this reading is this Six of Wands, which again indicates victory, rewards, confidence, progress, success, popularity, public recognition. So working through this difficulty at a job or within your business will allow you to be rewarded and recognized either with literal awards or rewarded with business success, rewarded with a job, rewarded with some positive outcomes that you may be seeking and needing after all that you have put into an existing or past job or project. And again, this Ten of Cups reinforcing how happy and joyful you will feel at the end of this, as this says divine love, harmony, bliss, family, alignment, happiness, fulfillment, belonging, and support. So this Six of Wands that said public recognition and rewards may mean that you receive that recognition from a community or industry that you have dedicated so much of your work life to. And thus it would be very fulfilling for you getting that recognition from your peers on the other side of these challenges. So Aquarius, in this quick overview of your career and finance reading, it seems that you are seeking out, if not already receiving, rewards and recognition for some of your life's work, some of what you've poured into some industry that you've been dedicated to for a while. And it's particularly rewarding, necessary, and maybe even overdue because of the hardships that you've experienced, as indicated by this Five of Pentacles, and the obstacles that you've had to overcome, indicated in this Five of Wands. But ultimately, you will get back on your feet again after this setback, both financially and with your reputation. And you will use this state of abundance, independence, and self-assurance to invest in your business ideas or invest your time into a promotion or a new job which is very competitive to get. But you should go for it and be patient in seeing the results. Part of the hardships and disappointment may have been either the loss of a new or old job, leading to temporary financial struggles. But you're putting in a plan and stepping out of your comfort zone to really invest in turning things around and finding that stability to pick yourself up out of a tough situation and work through any bad habits or destructive elements that may follow you from your experiences with a past or current employment or dispute amongst peers and colleagues, to then step into abundance and favorability and find your way back into victory, recognition, and emotional fulfillment with whatever favorable results you end up with in your career and finances. Now, let's get a final message out for my Aquarius in this career and finance reading, Spirit. Spirit, what advice or final message do you have for my Aquarius's career and finances for the rest of March? Let's get some advice or a final message for Aquarius's career and finances for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Let's get a final card of advisement for Aquarius in these next 4 to 6 weeks. It seems that you got many here. The first one that flew out was share wisdom. You may be called on to share what you've learned from this experience or share from what you've learned through all the years you may have spent in your industry. Then you have this pillar card, which seems to point to some sort of stability, as we saw here in the Four of Wands. This trust card may be asking you to trust in the universe, that whatever you find yourself in right now is meant to happen, and trust that things will get better. And finally, you have this ascension card. This points to perhaps you elevating to a better place in your career and a better version of yourself. Let's get the full message of these cards for you. So this share wisdom card says, this card is about the wisdom of experience. Our most potent medicine is born from the trials we have endured. It is easy to underestimate all that we know and all that we have learned, but we each have a unique perspective and offering to this world. Our wisdom evolves with us. Right now, you are being asked to speak more loudly about what you do know. Do not worry about what you don't know or whether you think you are qualified enough. It is time to put voice to all that you have experienced. Aquarius, so this may be pointing to some discouragement that you may have in your life due to hardships and obstacles that may have you perhaps doubting yourself, doubting that you could move into a better stage in career. But this share wisdom card reminds you that you know more than you realize. The things you already know may be helpful to others and could even perhaps lead you in a new career path. So share your wisdom in a way that you feel is productive and maybe even helpful to you in processing this transition out of past or current financial hardships and or job loss or financial loss. Then you got the pillar. The message here says, the pillar signifies a need to rise to the occasion. It indicates a time where we may need to be all things, the backbone, the nurturer, the provider, the lover. The pillar asks you to step into these roles as best you can, knowing that you are being pushed outside of your comfort zone. You will learn just how capable you are. It is a time where we take our gifts to new heights and learn that our perceived flaws are just that, perceived. If you've been resisting a new opportunity or role that has presented itself, it is time to step into it and trust that you will learn as you go. So this pillar card, similar to the share wisdom card, is encouraging you, Aquarius, to be brave, to take risks, take chances on something new, because you have more to offer than you think. You may, again, have some sort of self-doubt or insecurities due to the hardships that you've experienced. But tap into all that you have accomplished in your career thus far, and remember how great that is and how helpful that could be to someone else, but including to yourself in a new role with a new company or in a different department or applied to some entrepreneurial idea. Then you got this trust card. The message here says, this card indicates a time where letting go of your human thinking and having faith will serve you. People can confuse surrender and trust, lumping them into the same idea. However, these are different things and require different parts of us. Surrendering often feels darker and like you're submerged, unable to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Its lesson is a teaching in rebirth. The rebirth can only happen when you surrender to winter without expecting spring. It is a lesson in adapting. Trust is a more intuitive process. There is an element of vision, of knowing what is possible, of seeing the potential and trusting that you will get there when you do not know how you will. It is trusting that the universe will provide the resources and illuminate the path if you show up for it. Reflect around your history with trust. Do you have evidence of how trusting can bring about magical solutions? If not, at what point in the process do you give up? Simply put, Aquarius, this is asking you to trust the process. Trust the direction the universe is putting you in. Trust the intention behind the obstacles you may face. Trust that there is a purpose, and trust that you will come out better on the other side of it all. And finally, you got this Ascension card. The message here says, this card is a testament to all of the work you have done. It is a nod from the universe that your efforts are seen and are being rewarded. Things are moving forward, and you will continue to progress and reach a higher state of consciousness, as well as earthly success. This card can also be encouraging you to deepen your spiritual practices and work towards alignment with the highest codes of your being. Life is all about moving and reaching our true potential. You are well on your way. Keep going. Aquarius, this card is the perfect end because it very much matches what we got at the beginning of the reading as well as at the end of the clarifiers. The Six of Wands card pointing to some sort of rewards for all of the work that you have done in some job or some industry. You may finally get the rewards, recognition, and victory that you have sought out or deserve. You will ascend into that recognition and finally reap the rewards of your labor, contributing to this ultimate feeling of complete happiness and fulfillment, Aquarius. That's excellent. I am really happy for you, and I hope you get on the other side of this to arrive at that positive outcome in your career and finances. So that is the March 2025 Love and Career reading for Aquarius, Sun or Rising, for what's to come in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Remember, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. Leave a comment if anything resonated, or let me know of any readings you'd like to see me do in the future. Hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons for notifications of my weekly horoscope, pop culture, and celebrity readings. Donations and gift lists are linked down below if you're inspired, but not required. I wish you all abundance and opulence. May divine light radiate through your life. Keep shining.